And this makes me think about, I don't know, was it like 8 years ago when Common Core was sort of the buzzy thing that parents of K through 12th graders were thinking about. Common Core, of course, was the federal program that was looking to unify education across all schools in order to make sure that we're creating more educated K through 12 student populations. The pushback, and it was a major pushback I remember, was that parents and educators believed that instead of thinking about creating really deep thinkers, critical thinkers, lovers of the humanities, we were creating cogs in the wheel. We were creating a workforce, like maybe a more a more efficient workforce, but not necessarily more thoughtful human beings. So if I apply that to K through 12, is there some danger to thinking about higher ed as a way to create, make sure that students are getting jobs? Is there some danger that then we are overcorrecting and thinking about the workforce and not necessarily, the deeply thoughtful human beings?
Sure. I think we have a tendency to glamorize the past, especially our own experiences, right? When I was a kid, we did it this way, So I have an 8-year-old who's learning math in a way in which I didn't. And when I see her do math problems, I go, it's so complex, like such an easier way to do this. But I realized that the way I learned math was very much through memorization, regurgitation. Learn your times tables, right? We learned by route. We developed muscle memories so that we were able to recall the knowledge or the information quickly and can respond to it via an exam. But what I see my daughter learning is she's learning the relationships between numbers. She's learning how these things are related, not just what the operations are, but what the relationship is. And while it seems complex when I see her go through it, but the way she's cognating, I would argue, is a way that's much more sophisticated than I did when I was her age. So I think the idea is that, we have to remove the glamour that we put on the past when we think about these framings and realize that the pedagogy by which students are learning how to learn is different than us. And the hope, the prayer, inshallah, is that the pedagogy has gotten richer, has gotten more rigorous in the way in which it's been interrogating. So when I see students today as a professor, when I see students now, these students are way more curious, far more, they have greater interrogation skills than I think I had when they were their age. And so I think that as far as the student bodies are concerned, now look, again, I'm in a very privileged position at the university where I teach, right? I'm seeing some of the brightest minds in the world, and I'm very much impressed with the way they see the world and how they learn to navigate, how they learn how to navigate it. So I think that higher ed is still in really good shape. The challenge is that there isn't uniformity in the way in which we approach higher ed. So some schools are building for this, they are made for this, and they're creating students that navigate the world well. And there are other schools that are teaching in a way that students get information, but they're not becoming better practitioners.